verse 4, it says, each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone, without comparing themselves to someone, for each one should carry their own load. Nevertheless, the one who receives instruction in the word should share all good things with their instructor. Anyone want to explain that before I try to? Yeah, later. Anyone? I'm going to read what it says here so you guys can get a little bit more, okay? So, it says, pay careful attention to your own work, for then you will get the satisfaction of a job well done, and you won't need to compare yourself to anyone else, for we are each responsible for our own conduct. Was that a little clearer for everyone? Where should we keep our eyes? On ourselves, exactly. That's exactly what it's saying. Because in today's world, everyone, like sports, school, whatever it is, maybe brother, sister, no matter what, you guys are always focused on what the other one's doing. You're comparing yourselves, right? But here it's saying that we need to focus on our own goodness, on what we're doing, right? How many know that's healthier than comparing ourselves to the person next to us? Anyone? Yes? Yes? Everyone should be raising their hand. Yes? What? No, I was saying, like, how do you get or understand that it's better to focus on yourself rather than comparing yourself to everyone else around you? Right? Tristan, you agree? Yeah? Carter, you have a question, or do you agree? You do agree. Okay. Good, good. All right. So this story, all right, is about Paul, and he goes to Galatia, and this is what he talks about. And he wants to make sure and remind everyone here that what we're doing is we're focusing on what God has given us and not looking at each other. So, how many of you guys watch horses like race? Like on a racetrack, right? Does anyone know why they actually have blinders on? You know what blinders are? They have these, right? Why do they have that? So that they don't see the person next to them. Otherwise, they would get distracted, right? Because if they didn't have that, they'd be like, am I winning? Am I winning? Trip, fall, and game over.
That person on it will...
Yep, that too, right? So that's one of the main reasons they have blinders on. And number two, guys, this is something you guys probably don't know, but someone made a really good analogy about this. So, you ever notice, like in a car, obviously, when you're driving, right? What's in front of you, right, is always greater than what's behind you, right? So, the dashboard on a car, like the front of your car, how much of a big window is that? Like, pretty big. Can someone, like, yeah, like that, right? All right. So how big is the rear view mirror? Yep, exactly. So it's showing you that our focus should be ahead of us, not behind us, right? Because that rear view mirror is just showing a little bit of our past, but what we're focused on is in front of us, right? You guys have heard, the best is yet to come. That's one of the, a pretty common phrase. So make sure we're focused on that. All right? So how many of you guys know that God put teachers, parents, pastors, and anyone else to guide us in what goodness is? Do you guys agree? If there was a teacher that told you to do bad things, is that someone you want to follow?
No.
No, right? You'd be like, hey mom, I want to transfer schools. I'm just kidding. Maybe not that harsh, but you know what I mean. So we're going to go now I'm going to look at verse 7 and 8 in their Bible. So Galatians 6, verse 7 and 8. Anyone want to read that? No. Okay, I guess I'm reading it. You want to read it? All right, go ahead. it says, don't be misled. You will always harvest what you plant. Those who live only to satisfy their own sinful nature will harvest decay and death from that sinful nature. But those who live to please the Spirit will harvest everlasting life from the Spirit. Alright? So Paul is saying that the sinful things in our lives we don't want to feed into it. Right? We don't want to keep feeding it. So, for instance, you have how many of you guys have pets?
I have 3 pets.
You have 3 pets? Okay. How many of you guys have a pet snake?
I'd be scared if somebody did.
Question for you. This is, unfortunately, a lot of this happens, but you don't feed bad things, right? I'm not saying snakes are bad, but I mean, for the most part, they could be venomous, right? So let me turn this around and go, so when farmers plant something, right? So you reap what you sow. They reap, seeds, they plant the seed. What do you do with the seed? Do you expect it to just leave and then it'll all of a sudden grow? No, what do you need to do?
Feed.
Water it? Who said that?
Water.
Tristan, yep. Water it, yes.
Feed it.
Feed it, yep. Right?
Give it love and sunshine.
Give it love and sunshine. Exactly. You can't just expect to put it there. You don't plant something in the basement with no light and expect it to grow, do you?
You could.
You could, it's just going to be a seed when you come back. Really won't do much. But you need to make sure that we take care and nurture the things that we plant. And that's similar. Yes, you have a question. What's up?
I had 10 plants. My dogs just went over and killed them. Yeah.
Dead forever?
Yeah,
Okay, well maybe you should put them in a higher place where your dogs can't jump. Can your dogs jump 10 feet? 5 feet. Okay, then put it up 6 feet. Then the dogs can't reach it. So
Plants and
so
dogs don't mix.
what this is saying, guys, is that you really want to feed into your spirit. You want to feed yourselves with good things, right? You don't feed yourself with the bad things. And don't depend on the ones around you to feed into you. I mean, yes, you've been blessed with parents, pastors, teachers to feed good things into you. But this is also something you can feed into yourselves. So what are a couple things that you guys can feed into yourselves to make sure that you guys are doing good things? Yes, Chloe.
The word of Jesus.
The Word of Jesus, the Word of God. Yes, the Bible, right in front of you. That is a great way for us to make sure that we are feeding ourselves with good things. All right? Anyone else? It's not only just words. Think about food, guys.
True.
Think about food. We need to feed ourselves with good food. How many of you guys know that, in order to, run a marathon, okay? You need to be putting good fuel and, food into your system. You can't, run 26 miles off of, Five Guys burgers. Your fuel will probably, you might end up going to the bathroom a couple times during the 26 miles. But you know what I mean? We need to make sure you're fueling yourself with good things. Yes, Tristan, what's up? What's that?
She said never mind.
Oh, okay. Chris. Fruit of the Spirit. Exactly. There you go. Fruit of the Spirit. Awesome. All right. So now we're going to go to verse 9. I'm going to read it here. So we're still in Galatians 6, verse 9. And it says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap the harvest if we do not give up." That's really good. How many of you guys like to give up after trying one thing once? You? What? Can you give us an example of something you've tried and you're just like, you know what? I'll pass.
Sometimes I like making salad, sometimes I just don't like eating it, and after I'm just I don't know.
So you made a salad and you just left it there.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, I didn't like salad, then I did like salad, then I did.
That's the kind of couple.
You gotta experiment with salads, like one of those things where sometimes the dressing is really all that matters,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying try ketchup or Chick-fil-A sauce in your salad. I'm talking about like the good dressing. Yes.
Like, ew. Yeah. When I go to Chick-fil-A, I just get chicken and then I just eat it with chicken sauce.
Yeah.
Chicken?
Yes.
sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, so at the school we have something called like chicken trot, and we do like every November, and like you get to run around like the school. I think it's like 2 miles. I don't know. And then after like there's like a prize at the end, like we did a t-shirt or something. And after like I only did like one lap, and then I get gave up. I just kept on walking home.
I agree. I mean, that's something I struggle with. Running is not my thing. I love doing things like, have you guys ever heard of Spartan races? Like they're basically like obstacle course races, but you got to run in between to get to the next obstacle. So I was like, I wanted to join one, and I was like, can I just do the obstacles without the running? Can I like bring a golf cart and like drive to the next obstacle and do it? Because like, I was like, hey, if you want to do the one with 50 obstacles, you need to run 30 miles. I'm like, what? I'm not running 30 miles. Like, all right, well, that's something I got to be better at. Yes, Chloe.
I was part of a running club for our school
Mm-hmm.
that Lori's in love with, and she sure likes running, but like I was never able to run properly
Uh-huh.
because I used to do taekwondo. We used to do taekwondo, and during taekwondo, we did a lot of jumping and stuff, and my ankles couldn't keep up.
Oh.
Same with running, so I couldn't do very many active things.
Yeah,
So I was part of running club for a week, and then I quit.
and you quit. I see it. Yes.
It was kind of different, but I used to do jujitsu, and I did it for like a couple of years, and then I just stopped it for some reason. And now I want to do it again, but then I don't.
Give it a try. Christine.
So every morning my mom says, "Okay, let's go run."
No.
It's the worst part of the morning. I just woke up.
Yeah.
I just woke up. I want to eat. I want to sleep.
Yeah.
But no, let's go run.
Let's go around Luke.
If anything, morning yoga. I did karate. It's literally like we all warm up. Not for like
Warm up running, yeah.
Just running laps.
Yeah, I mean, warming up is a crucial part to start, like, any of your physical activities. And you guys who take to sports, like, you really need to warm up, otherwise, it prevents injury. Like, believe it or not. Like, yeah, you get more tired, like, as you go on, but you need to do these stretches. Yes, Tristan?
My stepbrother did football.
You what?
My stepbrother did football, but I don't know.
He's in football. Have you ever seen him warm up in practice before his games?
I don't know.
Okay, he does.
But
I don't even know your brother, but I know they definitely have warm-ups before his football games. Right?
Some warm-ups are very painful.
Yes. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys a quick video on goodness. So if we could pull that up.